over a century, a tradition of intercollegiate athletic excellence has been strong in central Nebraska. This is an inside look at that tradition. This is the University of Nebraska-Kearney Loper Review. Loper Review is brought to you by Nebraska Star Beef, from our family to yours.
Hello and welcome to our first Loper Review for 2015. I'm your host, Randy Bushcutter. We're here at Memorial Field, the home of UNK baseball. Well, actually, more precisely, we're just outside the Chamberlain Indoor Baseball Facility. Thanks to the generosity of Job Chamberlain, UNK now has the opportunity to practice their hitting anytime, regardless of the weather, as well as work on techniques for pitchers and regular players as well. It is named for Job Chamberlain, the current Major League pitcher who started his college career as a Loper, and whose generosity still supports the program even though he was here for only one season. Job was recently back in Kearney for a baseball team fundraiser, and we had the opportunity to talk with him and Coach Damon Day about why that 1 year was so special for the two of them and the Loper baseball program. Also on this month's program, we'll feature a member of the swimming and diving team for the first time, a young lady who has the distinction of being academic all-conference in two different conferences, neither one of which is the MIAA. And on Antelope 101, our host Nikki Thompson is literally on sabbatical this semester, so join us as we welcome a new host who will take a look at the post-war year for Antelope athletics. In just a few moments, we'll be taking you inside the Chamberlain Indoor Facility and talk about the special relationship between Jabba and the UNK baseball team. We'll do that as we continue right after this.
Loper Review is brought to you by Nebraska Star Beef.
The Nebraska Star Beef Pure Promise. No antibiotics, no hormones, humane treatment of animals, USDA choice or higher, a price that is always fair, and satisfaction guaranteed. At Nebraska Star Beef, we pay close attention to what we feed our families and are passionate about delivering beef that you can feel good about serving to your family. Visit us at nebraskastarbeef.com for more information.
Programming is made possible in part by the Museum of Nebraska Art in Kearney. From the artist explores through the modern era to the art of today, Mona tells the story of Nebraska through the art of Nebraska. Whether you're online at mona.unk.edu or on our doorstep, there's always something new to see and do.
That school bus is yellow for a reason. Yellow means caution. Those flashing lights are red for a reason. Red means stop.
Hey girl, what's up? Nothing much.
Never pass a stopped school bus. Don't pass from either direction. It's not just the law, it's a child's life.
Brought to you by the University of Nebraska at Kearney, Child Safety Network, School Bus Safety Company, and the Nebraska Safety Center. Keeping Nebraskans safe, one day at a time.
You're watching the Nebraska Star Beef Loper Review.
Welcome back. We are inside the Chamberlain Indoor Practice Facility here at Memorial Field in Kearney. You know, Memorial Field has had the reputation of being one of the better baseball venues in the entire state of Nebraska. But with the addition of this indoor facility, now UNK has facilities that are considered among the top 15 in all of Division II. It was built in 2008 and made possible by financial contributions of Job Chamberlain and other boosters. Jabba was back recently in Kearney for the Upper Deck Boosters Club annual banquet, something he attends every year that he can. We had the opportunity to visit with Jabba and Coach Damon Day at the banquet and talk about why Jabba's one season with UNK was special and why he continues to provide so much support, financially and otherwise, to the Loper program.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, it was 10 years ago, and it doesn't seem like that long ago. And just the biggest thing was Coach Day and the opportunity to play the game of baseball. And he gave me that opportunity, and I'm forever grateful and thankful for that. And friends that I knew growing up and playing against came here and just raved about the fact of what Coach Day is trying to do, and just to be a part of it in his first year, and now to be able to be in the position that I'm in to come back and help these kids. It's an unbelievable, humbling experience.
I think the biggest thing is we saw just a lot of potential. We saw a lot of ability from him to command the strike zone and do some things. Now, we did not see it at the level that he ended up being, because he accelerated his learning curve very much so once he got here. But it was just the potential that we saw in him as a young player to come in and get an opportunity to pitch right away, and he did, and he took advantage of it. The thing I remember the most about his first season here at UNK was just how his work ethic changed from the very first day into the middle of season and then on to the end of the season. I think he really bought into some of the things that we were trying to do. He changed his body, and I think as he started to see his body transform, I think he started to understand that he could be pretty special at this game, and so it really was a commitment on his part more so than anybody else's. He had a tremendous amount of support along the way, but at the end of the day, he made a decision to be great, and he followed through with it.
A lot of running. I guess it's one of the first places that obviously becoming a pitcher is important, and I think that that first ever experience I had coming to college and being an athlete was to make sure we ran a lot, and that definitely we did. So it carries over to this day.
Born and raised in Lincoln, Job is of Native American descent and broke into the major leagues with the New York Yankees, making it to the World Series as one of the team's main setup relievers, wearing the pinstripes for 7 seasons. He was 8th in the American League voting for Rookie of the Year back in 2008. And we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have more with Jaba and his relationship with head coach Damon Day right after this.
Loper Review is brought to you by Nebraska Star Beef.
The Nebraska Star Beef Pure Promise. No antibiotics, no hormones, humane treatment of animals, USDA choice or higher, a price that is always fair, and satisfaction guaranteed. At Nebraska Star Beef, we pay close attention to what we feed our families and are passionate about delivering beef that you can feel good about serving to your family. Visit us at nebraskastarbeef.com for more information.
Programming is made possible in part by the Museum of Nebraska Art in Kearney. From the artist explores through the modern era to the art of today, Mona tells the story of Nebraska through the art of Nebraska. Whether you're online at mona.unk.edu or on our doorstep, there's always something new to see and do.
That school bus is yellow for a reason. Yellow means caution. Those flashing lights are red for a reason. Red means stop.
Hey girl, what's up? Nothing much.
Never pass a stopped school bus. Don't pass from either direction. It's not just the law, it's a child's life.
Brought to you by the University of Nebraska at Kearney, Child Safety Network, School Bus Safety Company, and the Nebraska Safety Center. Keeping Nebraskans safe, one day at a time.
You're watching the Nebraska Star Beef Loper Review.
Welcome back inside the Job Chamberlain indoor practice facility here at Memorial Field in Kearney. Named for, of course, Job Chamberlain, who last year with the Detroit Tigers had a 3.57 ERA. That should be good enough for him to be able to find a free agent deal this season.
Oh, just waiting to see. I mean, obviously there's a lot of teams out there, and we have to do what's best for myself and best for my family. Obviously this will be my 9th year playing, and I've just been fortunate enough to be on a World Series team and get to the playoffs a lot. And now it's about the point where it's I want to be closer to my son and do those things and have the opportunity to pitch. So you kind of go through everybody and see what fits, what doesn't fit, and you go from there. And obviously we got another month before we have to get going, and we'll sit down with my family when it gets to that point and see what's best for us. Just it's the incredible experience that Kearney gives you as a whole, just from the people and the experience of college. And I had a great. I was only here for 1 year, but it was a great year, and it's where it all started for me. And I'm forever grateful for that. Just the friends that I've created over this lifetime, and that I'll have forever. And it all started here, and getting to know them here. And as we become adults and parents, and those we get to share the memories of when we were in college together, and now we get to share the memories of being parents and then going to games and doing all the stuff that we were annoyed by our parents for. So it's been great. My teammates, Coach Day, obviously, I've got to know Coach Day as a coach and as a man, and he's definitely calmed down from his first year with us. And just one of my best friends. We played together, and he's my catch partner in the off season, and it's just the memories that I created with them, sitting playing video games, and being on the bus and doing the things that we did, sharing pants, and it was they've come a long way. Now everybody has their own pants, and they don't have to share anymore.
Share pants?
Yeah, we didn't have enough pants for everybody, so we had to share pants.
He really got off to a rocky start, and I think that was something that really helped to develop him into the pitcher that he became. Things didn't come very easy for him at the beginning of the year, but he kept persevering, and he kept trying, and he kept working on things. And then he defeated number 2 in the country, Colorado State Pueblo, and that's when you kind of saw the light bulb go off, and you started to really realize that he had the ability to do some things. And then the following week he went out and beat number 4 Mesa State in the country, and that's when you kind of really started to see him take hold. He really struggled at the beginning, but man, did he finish strong.
Obviously, it says a lot to a man's character and what he does for a program when you go 19-36 and you win Coach of the Year. Just the things that he did, and now what he brings to the table. Obviously, the teams that he puts out all the time, and the championships. And obviously, we have a Player of the Year and a Pitcher of the Year a couple times. And he just continues to bring in a dynamic of his personality onto the field, and these kids resonate off him, and it's always fun to watch.
I think his support of the UNK baseball program goes to show you the man that he is. He hasn't forgotten where he came from. He hasn't forgotten the opportunity that the university provided him, and he definitely hasn't forgotten his teammates that were there from the very, very beginning. When he struggled early, his teammates were the ones that picked him up, and he's never forgotten that. And I think he was always very mindful of the support that he had garnered from Coach Clapp and the rest of the Lopers, and I think that's something that's always stuck with him. I think he learned a lot about himself when he was here. I think he learned what it took to be a college baseball player, and I think he took that and ran with it.
We all have our own story. We all start from somewhere, and I'm so grateful to be a Loper, for the rest of my life. And I'm excited to talk about Kearney and what we have to offer, and what we've done.
Well, news should be breaking very quickly on Job Chamberlain's future, because pitchers and catchers report really in the next about 3 weeks or so. Regardless of what happens to him in the future, he'll always have a special place in Loper baseball history. It's time for us to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll dive into our senior spotlight with Ashley McHugh. Her story is coming up next, right after this.
Loper Review is brought to you by Nebraska Star Beef.
The Nebraska Star Beef Pure Promise. No antibiotics, no hormones, humane treatment of animals, USDA choice or higher, a price that is always fair, and satisfaction guaranteed. At Nebraska Star Beef, we pay close attention to what we feed our families and are passionate about delivering beef that you can feel good about serving to your family. Visit us at nebraskastarbeef.com for more information.
Programming is made possible in part by the Museum of Nebraska Art in Kearney. From the artist explores through the modern era to the art of today, Mona tells the story of Nebraska through the art of Nebraska. Whether you're online at mona.unk.edu or on our doorstep, there's always something new to see and do.
You're watching the Nebraska Star Beef Loper Review.
And welcome back. Time now to shine our senior spotlight on Ashley McHugh from the UNK swimming team, one of the aqua lopers. A couple of unique things about your program. Part of it is you started in the RMAC. Because there's not enough teams in the MIAA, you went to the Northern Sun for a couple years. Now back with the RMAC, where you're academic all-conference all 4 years. Congratulations on that.
Yep.
Does that back and forth, does that kind of throw you off a little bit in terms of who your conference rivals are? Does that have an impact on you as an athlete?
Generally, yeah. Our freshman year, we had a lot of different teams there, so we kind of got a feel of who our rivals were, and we were doing really well. And then we went to Northern Sun, which had a bunch of different teams we had never swam with before. So it's just kind of a different mix of who our rivals are and who we're going to swim against. So it did have an impact. For myself, my sister was also like an adopted team into the Northern Sun, so we both got to swim together in college meet, which like we never thought we would be able to. So that was cool. So it's just different because we were in Texas and then Minnesota, and now we're going to Colorado. So it's just jumping around where everything is.
Mentioned a lot of different states there, but besides geography, you kind of mentioned somewhat casually that you had an opportunity to swim against your sister. Talk a little bit about her, where she's at, and what that experience was like.
She was swimming at Minnesota State Mankato, and since I was here, we never thought we would be able to swim against each other because we obviously aren't anywhere close. So we both actually swam in the same race, but different heats, which was cool, and our parents were happy they only had to go to one meet instead of traveling everywhere to go to both. But it was a really fun time, and it was really good because she was a senior, so I was really happy that I could be with her and swim with her at her last meet. So that was awesome.
You mentioned going into education, but a very specific field. You're going into special education. That isn't just a profession, that is a calling.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about how you got that calling and what you're hoping to do.
Actually, most of my calling was through swimming. I helped coach a swim team all through middle school and high school, and even my first summer after college. And I was really always just drawn to the kids who were struggling the most in swimming. So I worked with a specific lane of specific kids that really needed some extra help and guidance, and it was just really rewarding getting to see them improve so much, and it was so rewarding to me. And I was in a group in high school called Circle of Friends, which we worked with the special ed classrooms in the school. So kind of the mix of both of those made me realize that that was really what I need to do. So
specifically, what are you hoping? Is there an age group that you're looking to?
I am K through 12, but I'm really focused in the autism spectrum disorders kind of thing. So I really just want to work with kids with autism. Right now I think I want to be more of the early elementary ages and help them get on the right foot for the rest of their education. But I could teach anything. Education,
obviously, passion for your life, but you had some of a unique internship, especially for an education major, where you worked with the Disney resorts. Talk about exactly what your job was, where you were, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so I did the Disney College program, which is just a program for college-age students to kind of get out there and get Disney on their resume and learn people management and different skills from Disney hands-on. So I did resort activities, children activities at the Grand Floridian and Polynesian resorts. And this was the fall of 2012, so my sophomore year. And so I emceed on the pool deck, had pool parties with the families. We had movie nights on the beaches and watched the fireworks. And I worked in a children's activities center. And I did Disney birthday parties, which was really fun. So we just kind of got a lot of hands-on. I learned a whole lot from the program. It was interesting not swimming for kind of the first time in my life all the time. But it was really exciting, so I'm definitely glad I did it. And I always encourage everyone I know, I talk about it for hours, just go do it.
Besides Disney, besides swimming, what are some other things you like to do in your spare time? If you have any spare time.
Oh gosh, yeah, not very much spare time. I definitely like any type of crafting. I work a lot with the ARC of Buffalo County and different like Special Olympics and young athletes and different programs working with kids with disabilities or difficulties. So I do a lot of stuff with that. I also am a member of Alpha Xi Delta, the new sorority here on campus. And I'm the philanthropy chair for them, so I do a lot for Autism Speaks, and we really try to branch out and teach the community about autism. So that's something that I definitely spend most of my time doing, is kind of organizing different events around campus for focusing around autism. So, yeah.
Well, as a senior, you know, the future's coming up right around the corner. You've talked a lot about your passion for teaching and for autism, and obviously swimming as well. Is there a way to kind of tie all that together down the road for you?
Yeah, there's a lot of different therapeutic swim lessons, and there's been a lot of grants and things through Autism Speaks, being able to teach kids with autism water safety skills. So I think definitely my passion for working with autism and swimming and teaching all kind of work together, and doing safety courses for kids with autism that not necessarily just any swim instructor could teach the skills in the way that they needed to be taught. So that's kind of a goal that I have, is to work and help with some type of therapeutic or swim lesson instruction for any kid with difficulties. So.
Looking back, being a Texan, being from the Dallas area, talk a little bit about your experience, you know, coming to Nebraska. You mentioned the cold. Maybe we leave that one alone. What are some positive things?
Yeah, it was really hard adjusting from big city life kind of to Kearney life in general. So I really enjoyed the smaller, kind of everyone knows each other, and like the beauty of Nebraska is really overwhelming to me a lot of times, and there's not buildings everywhere, and I really enjoy like the simplicity of Nebraska. So that's definitely something I like about being here, and maybe I'll come back. I'll probably just end up teaching here anyway. So.
Hey, Ashley, appreciate the time. Best of luck to you in the future.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thanks for having me.
It's time for us to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll turn our attention to Antelope 101. We'll do that right after this timeout.
Loper Review is brought to you by Nebraska Star Beef.
The Nebraska Star Beef Pure Promise. No antibiotics, no hormones, humane treatment of animals, USDA choice or higher, a price that is always fair, and satisfaction guaranteed. At Nebraska Star Beef, we pay close attention to what we feed our families and are passionate about delivering beef that you can feel good about serving to your family. Visit us at nebraskastarbeef.com for more information.
Programming is made possible in part by the Museum of Nebraska Art in Kearney. From the artist explores through the modern era to the art of today, Mona tells the story of Nebraska through the art of Nebraska. Whether you're online at mona.unk.edu or on our doorstep, there's always something new to see and do.
You're watching the Nebraska Star Beef Loper Review.
Welcome back. Last semester, former Loper soccer player Nikki Thompson did a great job as our host for Antelope 101. However, she's in a special educational program this semester, in Peru. Not Peru, Nebraska, but Peru, the country in South America. So it's time for us to make a call to the bullpen. Professor Page is back, and she's going to take a look at Antelope athletics in the 1940s.
Hello and welcome to our first Antelope 101 of the second semester. This month we'll be taking a look back at the decade of the 40s, an era dominated by two historic developments for the Antelopes, World War II and the hiring of Charlie Foster as the war came to a close. When the decade of the 40s began, the Antelopes competed in only 4 sports: football, basketball, track, and somewhat surprisingly, golf. And there was no intercollegiate competition for women at all. The Antelopes did have a men's tennis team until the mid-30s, but that was eliminated by budget cuts. The last tennis team in 1936 was coached by L.F. Pop Klein, who had become the school's football coach a year earlier. He apparently liked golf better than tennis, so instead of reviving the tennis program in 1938, he began the golf team. Although specific results are hard to come by, the Antelopes won 3 state titles in the 5 seasons prior to the start of World War II. In basketball, the Antelopes finished the previous 2 decades with a winning record overall, but the 40s would not be as successful. During the decade, the Antelopes would have only 2 winning seasons, 12-6 with Clifton White as the coach in 42 and 43, and 15-7 with Charlie Foster as the coach in 47 and 48. That 42 and 43 team was conference champion. As we mentioned, Pop Klein was hired mainly to be the school's football coach and guided the team from 1935 and was just starting to dominate their schedule in 1940 and 41 when the program was shut down because of the war. In 1940, the Antelopes finished 7-2, followed by an unblemished 8-0 mark in 41, and gave up only 2 touchdowns that entire season. The final season for Coach Klein ended with a record of 6-2. There were no games played in 43 and 44. As we pointed out last semester, Charlie Foster was practically a one-man athletic department starting in 1945, coaching football, basketball, track, and golf. The football team would close out the decade with a combined record of 28, 12, and 3. Helping to lead the Antelopes to pre-war success were the Morrow brothers, John, Marion, and Lee. Lee is pictured here, and all 3 are in the school's Athletic Hall of Fame. Lee has the distinction of playing both before and after the war. Another Hall of Fame member from the early 40s was Paul Blessing. He was a 3-time All-Conference choice and received honorable mention as an All-American in 1941. He was also All-Conference in basketball and one of the top javelin and discus throwers. After the war, he played 1 season for the Detroit Lions. Of the other men in this picture, Carl Meyer was also a standout in track and is a member of the school's Hall of Fame. And as you may recall from last semester, 1939 was the year football games were first played on what is now Foster Field. In these pictures from the final game played on the old field, you can see Men's Hall under construction in the background. Coincidentally, football action photos just prior to World War I showed Copeland Hall under construction in the background. The completed Copeland Hall is on the right in this picture. As we told you during our special series on Charlie Foster last semester, the last few years of the 1940s set the stage for revitalization of Antelope athletics in the 50s. We hope you'll join us next month for Antelope 101. Hope to see you then.
Thanks, Paige, and we look forward to your reports for the rest of the semester. And we certainly want to say thanks to all you folks at home watching us here on Loper Review. Hope you'll join us for the rest of the school year as we continue to take a look at Antelope athletics. Right now, I'm going to see if I can fire up that pitching machine over there as we wrap up our show for this week. Want to thank you for joining us. See ya, and go Lopers.
You're watching the Nebraska Star Beef Loper Review.
The Nebraska Star Beef Pure Promise. No antibiotics, no hormones, humane treatment of animals, USDA choice or higher, a price that is always fair, and satisfaction guaranteed. At Nebraska Star Beef, we pay close attention to what we feed our families and are passionate about delivering beef that you can feel good about serving to your family. Visit us at nebraskastarbeef.com for more information.
That school bus is yellow for a reason. Yellow means caution. Those flashing lights are red for a reason. Red means stop.
Hey girl, what's up? Nothing much.
Never pass a stopped school bus. Don't pass from either direction. It's not just the law, it's a child's life.
Brought to you by the University of Nebraska at Kearney, Child Safety Network, School Bus Safety Company, and the Nebraska Safety Center, keeping Nebraskans safe, one day at a time.